So, like, how do I get to the point where I can invest in those things, or how do I wrap my head around that team when I can't even wrap my head around a divorce lawyer? Because I mean, that a lot of the times is the hang up, and I feel that's a lot of the time why a lot of women just go, oh my God, I don't know, I'm done, because they can't pay for it. Because they don't have the income.
Exactly.
And then they haven't settled the income, and the ex is in charge of the income. So how can I get the income to pay for my team when I'm not in control of how the income is dispersed?
Yeah.
So, like, what's the advice you would give to someone in that?
Well, that's a really one of the toughest situations, because you're right. A lot of the times, somebody in one of the parties won't have financial support to be able to do it this way. This is kind of like, having a team is like the ideal way of doing divorce, right? And that's not always the case. And so, Divorce Cafe is definitely an option.
Divorce Cafe, we're getting a plug.
That's right, because people come here the first Wednesday of every month
at 7th and 7th
and
Studio.
every service that's provided here is free.
It's free, and that's one of the reasons why I created that, is for people to
because
have that
you felt
option.
you knew that you knew that there was a need for something like that. But besides that, of course, sometimes most divorces are going to need you to have some kind of either an attorney or you're going to have to represent yourself.
Right.
It's one
true.
or the. I mean.
It's
divorce kind of forces you into figuring out where the money's going to come from, really. And I would say that hopefully, I mean, another maybe idea to put out there is, it's a time to really rely on your family. You've got to ask for divorce is oftentimes sort of like a humiliating kind of an experience, because it tells you
you say,
failed.
I need help.
Yes, and
I'm a grown up, and I should have known better, and now I need to go back to mommy
there's
and daddy,
guilt, and there's all these things going on in your mind that and then you want to try and do it by yourself because you can't possibly talk to And so I would say that if you have good relationships with your family, it's a time to allow yourself to ask for help wherever you need it.
Yes.
To ask for that support wherever you can get it.
And one of the things, I had gone to an entrepreneurial conference once, and one of the topics they touched upon was how to ask your family for money. And I actually utilized this because I had to walk the talk too, And what the advice that they had put out in this little conference was, if you're going to ask your family for money, then you create it kind of from a step back from an objective point of view and say, I need this money for this. And you break it down in kind of what needs to be asked for, what's the payment plan that you're going to have once you get back on your feet, what are the terms, and you can always, because the thought of putting it into like a contract base gives the family the option to say, wow, you put a lot of thought in that.
Yes.
And I respect you taking the time to want to pay me back for that. And yes, I accept your terms, or I'm going to extend the terms because I know it's going to take you a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Or no, don't worry about it. Like you have, or then if they don't have the means, then they can say, yes, I appreciated you taking the time, but I don't have the means. But maybe there's another family member we can go to because you've done such a good job.
Yeah.
And I did. I had a coaching class that I wanted to take to, and I didn't have enough money. And I says, you know what? I am going to draft something like that for for a family relative, and that's what I did. I this is what I want, and this is why, and this is how much, and this is what I can pay back in the time frame. And I had recommendations of why these X amount of people were necessary, and then I submitted it to the family member, and they said, I appreciate all that information. Here's the money, and here's a little bit extra. Just to kind of give you a cushion.
Yeah.
But I felt a little bit more in control, creating kind of like a business contract around the money request, rather than I feel
just
like a
need
screw
this.
up and
Yeah.
I can't afford this and you need to help me.
Right.
Because there's just a different energy,
Yes.
exchange
Absolutely.
around that request for money.
Absolutely. And you know, I mean, when you think about how doing it right from the beginning saves you
Yes.
time, money, emotional, you know, there's a
Yeah.
there's an advantage to being able to
Yeah.
doing it right from the beginning.
And you could send it out to multiple family members. Say, you know what, I need to collect a team. I need a lawyer. I need a financial. This. And I've talked to people, and this is how many hours I'm going to need from them, which is going to cost about X amount of money. And maybe you send a family email going, I am looking for help from my family. This is what I need. I would love whatever participation you feel comfortable sharing with me.
Yes.
In sponsoring this because I
Yeah.
need to do this.
Beautiful. And so so that's an option. You know, that's something that definitely to look at, an option to look at. And it isn't, again, it's not going to work for everybody.
No, it's not.
Because this is not a cookie cuttering kind of a
No,
thing. You know, some
it's
people
not.
really will not have anybody and will not have, or anybody with money. You know, there's just a lot of things, and my heart goes out to people who just really, but you still need to look. You still need to look for support. You still need to look for agencies that volunteer. You know, as far as a divorce attorney, there's options. You know, there's agencies that that provide some legal advice, free advice, and that kind of a thing. And then it's not like having your own, you know, somebody
Right.
who's there, or you know, but it's something.